Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Araya Sunshine, and I just wanted to do a continuance on me and my husband's first month of marriage. I was really excited, so I didn't get to say everything, but there were some things that I was still thinking about. And one of the most important things is something that my husband created with the help of ChatGPT, and it's called a marriage operating system. If you are somebody that is not analytical and you really struggle with analysis, there's really no other way to put that. This might not be for you, but to those of you who really enjoy getting down to the details, you like understanding the thought processes and the systems behind certain things, you like to feel like certain things are manageable in your life, you're more proactive instead of reactive, I think that this can really help you out. So we have something called a marriage operating system, and it's something that my husband just ran through ChatGPT, and it focuses on our emotions each week, it focuses on gratitude each week, upcoming week planning, meaning like our work schedules and all that stuff, especially if one or both of you has a career where you're changing things each week or where you're more freelance and stuff. Putting this down in here and meeting once a week is so important. Any stressful days ahead, this will help y'all out both so much. If you already know, look, this Saturday is going to be a stressful day for me because I have to do da 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 da. You already know ahead of time, your spouse already knows ahead of time coming into this, like, that is not the day for me to ask for a full-blown massage and for me to expect for dinner to be cooked at a certain time, da 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 da, all this stuff. Just asking, like, how can you support each other this week? Household check-in. Regardless of if you live somewhere where you rent or not, are there any maintenance requests that we need to put in? Are there any supplies we need to go out and get? Instead of being like, well, we both saw the toilet paper was out, so I just thought that you would get it. Put that down. Put that down. Put that down in this document and share it with your partner. Emotional support system. When I am stressed, what helps the most? And I think this is so important, stress/overwhelm, because you'll notice over time that your answers are likely going to change. Of course, they're going to change with certain things like what are you grateful for, stressful days ahead. It could change with your work schedule. But you realize through this, even though you're connecting with your spouse, with your partner, you realize like, oh, I'm actually learning things about myself as well. Because you'll notice that maybe during this season of your life, when you were stressed, what you really needed was words of affirmation. But as you're maturing and getting older, you might realize that another season of your life, I actually want quality time when I'm stressed, when I'm overwhelmed, or I might want isolation, even though I used to be a social person. This stuff is so important. It's so important. And then the last category that we have is blessing someone this week. Who can we bless this week and how can we help them? I know that those things are so simple. And if you're the type of couple where y'all already have everything together, that is perfectly fine. You might even take this and do an even simplified version, or you might want to add certain things to it, like family time, especially if you have kids and things like that. Are there any upcoming medical needs or whatever? You can tailor it to your liking. But putting in something as simple into the prompt as, can you give me a few categories that could be near and dear to us as a newly married couple that we could discuss each week, and then you can tailor it from there. I just think that that is so important. And we do ours once a week on Sundays, usually as we're driving to church. If you cannot handle multitasking at once, you don't have to do that, but that's just what works best for us. There was even a time where we went to Starbucks and like met earlier that morning, literally like we're having a meeting. Another time, I think we did it after we went to Chili's. There's really just so many options, but it just helps us go into the week feeling much more knowledgeable about each other. And we can go back to this as a point of reference throughout the week. And then because it's digital, you just erase your answers from the week before and put in your new answers for this week. And then the second thing that I wanted to mention that I think is so important, if you did not go through premarital counseling and you don't have just marriage counselors readily available to you, please find an older, godly couple who represent the institution of marriage well, and find them and ask them to mentor you and your husband, or just be readily available for counsel. It's so important, because while I did not mention this in the first video, because I guess my mind was kind of like, well, duh, but common sense isn't always common. Your family, while they are important, They are not necessarily your built-in marriage counselors, because that can cause a lot of drama and issues between you and your spouse. And while your family might end up disliking them because of something that your spouse said or did, or that you said or did, you're still going to be with them. And your family is going to be carrying those burdens, and they're not really going to have anywhere to put them, because you're running your mouth and you're telling them about every little inconvenience. That's not to say that you can't ask your parents for wisdom, or whomever raised you, but you have to be very careful in doing so. So a third party that you're not really related to kind of helps, or related to in the sense of brothers and sisters in Christ, like y'all share the same faith, but not necessarily like, oh yeah, this is like my auntie and she knows everything about me and she's the family gossiper. That's not the person that you should be telling. Please reach out to whoever those two people are for you. I really recommend, as the wife, you should have the female out of the bunch be more of your counselor. As the husband, he should have the husband out of the bunch for the two. It's a married couple. You receive counseling from the wife, he receives counseling from the husband, and then if you need to do a joint counseling session, you can always do that too. But it helps you so that you don't feel alone whenever you guys are going through maybe those more explosive arguments. I heard while we were getting counseled, don't wait until the house is already on fire and you're trying to find windows to break out of and escape from before you get help. Don't do that. Don't do that. If you're already seeing warning signs like, it's starting to get a little toasty in here, or like, you know, whatever the case is, that's when you need to start asking for help. And I know there is the con in which sometimes you can rely on other counsel too much, but this counsel from these people is in addition to you already practicing healthy communication with your spouse. And of course, there's going to be errors in that as you're learning, your newlyweds. And it's also in addition to you already having your own relationship with Christ. If you do not have those two, you're going to see your marriage counselors as idols. You're going to treat them like our generation treats ChatGPT, which I know is ironic because I mentioned that at the beginning. But if it becomes your everything, you always turn to it. You're always getting wisdom and direction from it, and you don't seek counsel on your own. You don't pray on your own. It can become a very dangerous cycle. Or you can use it wisely, or use them wisely, your counselors, and you can walk away feeling like, man, I'm so glad that we shed light on this situation and got other perspectives. Literally just happened yesterday, so I'm telling you what I know. I'm telling you what I know. Anyways, thank you so much for coming to part 2 of this video. If I think of anything else, I make a part 3, but I don't know if I will. I love y'all. Have a great, awesome, spectacular day on purpose. Bye.